Hey, kia ora, Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from Wilderness Lakes in Menifee, California. I swear I did this every night and I still can't remember where I am. Oh God, look at my hair. Okay, so today was my off day. So today was my off day. Sunday is usually my day that I take off, kick back, relax, that sort of thing. So what I did today is I went to the 46th or 47th annual Scottish Highland Games and Gathering of the Clans. It was over in Vista. It was an awesome day. It's about an hour drive from here. It was an awesome day. It was just amazing. Got to see some pipe and drum bands performing in competition. Got to see some sheepdogs corralling sheep, which was kind of cool because there was these ones they had the beginner dog. They had the beginner class for the dogs. It was absolutely hilarious what these dogs would run. If you haven't seen them, if you haven't seen sheepdog trials, you've got to see them. These dogs get low and they just go. They bolt, but all under control of the shepherd that's working with them. The sheep are absolutely hilarious. I mean, the sheep have minds of their own. Some of them will do what they're supposed to do, other ones, but these dogs are very quick. They turn very quickly. They drop down very quickly. They will go flat tack and then suddenly stop and lay down. It was just amazing watching these dogs. It was, they were quite a lot of fun. The pipe and drum bands got to see some great formations and marching. Here's some great Scottish tunes being played through the bagpipes, which I absolutely love bagpipes. I got to learn some about the what they're looking for. So when they're in competition, between the bands, as they're getting the next band ready to come out, they're talking about some of the stuff that the judges are looking for. Are they in sync with each other? Are their uniforms all exactly the same? Are their pipes, the pipe bags, in tune? I'm like, pipe bags in tune? And apparently, so you learn something new every day. Apparently, they are constantly tuning the bagpipes because the weather conditions can affect the sound of the bagpipe. And so they have to make sure that that in the band, they all sound exactly the same. They all have that crisp thing and that they're all in cadence together, which means they're blowing up the bags, they're pushing the bags all in sync. It was actually quite interesting to hear that being said, and then to actually listen to see if you could hear any differences and stuff. I don't think I picked up any, but it was interesting. I just love bagpipes. They had a kids area. The kids area was awesome. The scouts were there. They'd set up this kids area, and the kids had their own caber toss and their stone toss, the Brahms stone. They had their own version of tossing the sheaf, and tossing the sheaf is it's meant to simulate getting a pitchfork into a bale of hay and tossing it up onto a pile of hay bales. So it was all done at kids level, so that was kind of cool. They had, of course, they have down on the main field where they have the athletics, they have a main stage area there which they put some bands on, but then they have kind of like, I call it the strip, and it's just all these tents that are up as booths. Some of the booths are a lot of them are clans, so you can actually go there and you can learn more about the different Scottish clans and stuff and find out. And of course they have the main clan, and then they'll have a list of all the other names that are associated with that clan. For example, I'm from the Ross clan. One of our sects, S-E-C-T-S, is Anderson. And the only reason I know that is because there happened to be some Andersons standing there talking with the president of Clan Ross for America. And so I got to talk with him afterwards, and he'd never met anybody from the Ross clan in New Zealand. He didn't even know that the Ross clan was down in New Zealand, so that was kind of interesting. So we had a great conversation afterwards, and they had pictures of famous Ross clan members and stuff. One of them was a NASA astronaut. Another one was awarded Medal of Honor from World War II. Yeah, I can't remember what it was for, but I do have pictures, so go to my Facebook page because there are photographs of these famous Ross people that they had in the booth there. And so one of them got a Medal of Honor during World War II. Another one was an astronaut. I think one was a writer. I can't can't remember what the other 3 were, but there was 5 of them that they had pictures of. So that was kind of cool, catching up with that. Walking around some of the booths and things, came across this really one that makes this beautiful, absolutely stunningly gorgeous jewellery. Now, normally when I go to a jeweller's store and try on things like rings, I'm lucky if on my ring finger I can get stuff past the first knuckle. These rings were fitting, and I was like, wow, I was like really impressed. Because I'm still trying to figure out, because if you may or may not remember, but back dated the 8th of December in 2016, which was the day before my 50th birthday, Brad emailed himself an email that the subject said 20th wedding anniversary. Now, in 2016, we were celebrating our 18th wedding anniversary. He never made it to the 19th because our wedding's in December and he passed in September. So I found this after he had passed away. I found this email that was dated the day before my 50th birthday and 2 years before our 20th wedding anniversary. And in there was was links to Claudel rings, which are the ones that, if you see them, the Irish ones that have the hands, the heart, and the crown, and let's see if I can remember this correctly. The hands are for friendship, the heart is for love, and the crown is for loyalty. I think I got that right. And because he knows I've always loved those types of rings, and so he had actually emailed himself the day before my 50th birthday, 2 years before our 20th wedding anniversary, these links to get a Claudel ring for me for our 20th wedding anniversary. So I've been on the lookout for one ever since that speaks to me, because people say, oh, you should get it anyway, it's for your 20th anniversary. So I've kind of been on the lookout for one, and I kind of found one that I liked, and it was just this cheap one that was on Amazon and all of that. And so I showed it to this guy because I really liked the way it was done. And he says, oh, we can do something similar, but we don't copy. And I'm just sort of like, but that's the one I want. And I want it made for real, not in all this other whatever. I don't want the fake stuff. I want it real. And he's like, oh no, he said, we can do something similar. And he told me how we could make it similar and all that. And I was just sort of like, here you got this beautiful, and he had these gorgeous Celtic knots that had stones in them. And he's explaining where he could put the stone on. But he said, we can still get it similar, but not exactly the same. And I was like, okay, maybe. But he had beautiful, beautiful pieces. He designed some of them and makes them. His wife is the main designer of the jewelry that they had, and it was absolutely stunningly beautiful. Let's see, what else did they have there? Oh, I met this guy. He was called My Bella Luna, and I was like, what the heck is this? And you go up there, you tell him your birthday, and he will look up to see what the phase of the moon was on your birthday, on your actual date of birth. And I'm like, okay. And so he looks up my birthday and comes back and goes, he says, oh, wow. He says, you've actually got 2 phases on your thing. And I'm like, 2 phases? And it was called hang on, I have it written down here. Well, he dropped it. A special waning crescent. And what that meant was that it's the very last slither of the waning moon, and you have the beginning of the new moon on the other side, so you actually get 2 phases. And I said, oh, that's interesting. It says, what, just out of curiosity, what does that mean? Just making conversation. And Tristan says, oh, it means that you're one of twins. And I looked and went, no, I'm not. And he says, but it also means that people who are born under this one are very creative people. They're actors, they're writers, artists. He says those sort of very much in the creative thing. And I was sort of like, yeah, I've been known to be a little creative at times. And I was thinking, yeah, I used to do acting when I was at school, in the school plays, and did some singing too, and kind of had that artistic thing going through life. And so that was kind of interesting to learn that, but because I'd never heard of that before. And he actually makes jewelry with the picture, so you can get a picture of the phase of moon for your birth date on it. And he's got pendants and bracelets and all that stuff. But of course, I wasn't really interested in that. I was just curious as to what his booth was all about. And then went and saw some Highland dancing. Oh my gosh, those people are so light on their feet. They are amazing to watch. They are just incredible. And they had these little tykes, these little kids that were, little, like 5-year-olds. And they were just amazing. And at the end, when they do the awards for the ceremony, the girls stand there with their skirts held out to the side, and the boys stand there with their hands on their hips. And then when their name is called, the boys would bow from the hip, not from the waist. They'd bow from the hip. And do this beautiful deep bow, and the girls would curtsy and then they would walk over and get their prize, and they'd go back and repeat. And then at the end, when that group had been awarded their medals and everything in their places, they all had to curtsy or bow at the same time before they could leave the stage area. So that was kind of cool. But those kids, and even the adults, are so light on their feet. It was amazing. So it was an amazing day. I had so much fun there. Just seeing the people in the family. And of course I got to hear two of my favourite Scottish bands, which is Highland Way, who do a lot of songs that you can sing along to and stuff. And the other one is Wicked Tinker, and Wicked Tinker is just awesome. They are a lot of bass, a lot of drums, a lot of thumping, but really, really fun to watch on stage. Great with audience. I mean, they'll walk around there. We have one guy. There's one guy who comes and he's got this big drum around his waist and he's walking around and he's beating this thing as he's walking through the audience and stuff. It's just, but they're two phenomenal bands to watch at the Highland Games and stuff. Always enjoy watching them. So whenever I see that they're on, it's like, yes, I've got to go watch them do at least one song. So that was kind of cool just to wander around. Oh, but the best part, the whole reason I went was because of the Highland Games. They've got the tossing of the caber, the Braemar stone, they have the hammer toss, they have the the hammer throw, not toss. They have the sheaf toss. And I saw, for my first time ever, I saw a perfect caber toss. They had the women up there doing the caber tosses, and this is probably like a 14 to 16 foot pole, and this woman tossed, and I was like looking at this thinking, and okay, well, she's tall and willowy. This is going to be interesting because, some of the guys, when they get there, they're these big, beefy guys. But she was very slender and all that, tall and slender. And she gets this thing out there and she tosses this caber. It does a perfect 360 and landed exactly on 12 o'clock, which is a perfect caber toss. So the whole thing of the caber toss is to make sure that the pole does a complete 360 and lands as close to 12 o'clock as possible, and a perfect one is landing on 12 o'clock. And there was just this huge uproar from the crowd when this happened, and it was really fun. She goes and does this cartwheel, and then the next thing, those tent shelters that you just pop up, the little 10 by 10 ones that you can pop up, they had a whole row of them along the fence line there where people could sit there in the shade and stuff. And the next thing she goes and does this big cartwheel thing and celebration and all of this, and then one of these pop-up tent things goes flying over the fence with this gust of wind. I mean, everybody was getting in on the celebration on this one. It was awesome. So they managed to get that back over, and then it was. I wish I had the video going, but I didn't even think to pull it out and do that. And then I was over watching the hammer throw, and I was busy watching the athlete, and then I heard this noise and turn, and there was a girl who was getting ready to pick up the caber, like she was doing her hand placements and everything, getting ready to pick it up so she could do her throw, and this guy goes and he trips over a chili bin full of ice and cold drinks for the athletes. I don't know what it was doing out there in the middle of the field, but it was out there, and chili cooler for you Americans. We call them chili bins. The Australians call them eskies. And he goes and trips over this whole thing, and which of course completely puts off the poor girl who was trying to pick up her caber, so she laid the thing down, and then they helped her stand it, got her composure again, and they allowed her to put it back up again and pick it back up. But it was a phenomenal day. And then I came back and I was going through Facebook, and one of the people that I know is currently in Bali, and she's posting these gorgeous photographs of being in Bali. And I said to her, thank you for posting these pictures. I said, I love following your journey while you're over there, and I can't wait to see it in person, because until you experience they're beautiful photos, but until you experience the beauty of a place, you don't fully appreciate the true beauty of a place. And it's something that I always tell people when they're looking at traveling. Oh, this place looks so beautiful, and blah 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 blah. And like, I've always had people coming up to me and they find out I'm from New Zealand, and they're like, oh, you're from New Zealand? Oh my gosh, that place is so beautiful. And I go, oh great, when were you there? Oh, I've never been. I said, then how do you know it's beautiful? Oh, there's such the photographs and all that. And I said, until you visit New Zealand and experience it, you can't appreciate just how beautiful it really is. And that's the same whenever you're looking at traveling anywhere in the world and you see these gorgeous photographs that people are posting of their travels and stuff. Until you actually visit that place yourself and see it with your own eyes, experience the atmosphere in the area, experience the culture and everything else. Yes, those pictures may be beautiful, but you are missing out on such a key component of the experience of experiencing the place. And that's what gives you the true beauty of a place, is that experience that you have when you're there. It could be sitting down and doing something as simple as a tea ceremony. You see these beautiful tea ceremonies done, but actually experiencing it, then you get to appreciate the true beauty. When you go to places that have beautiful scenery like Ireland and England and New Zealand and all these places that have these beautiful rolling fields and hills and mountains and snow, and even Switzerland and stuff like that, when you go there and you actually see it and appreciate it and walk in those areas and stuff and just stand there and just breathe in the beauty of the area, until you have that type of experience, you can't truly appreciate the beauty of a space. So that is my deep thought of today. That is my reflection on today. There was no questions today. It was just it's Sunday, it's a relaxation day, it's a nothing day, although I did do something. I don't typically get on my computer, I don't typically get on social media on Sundays, but today I did, so just one of those days. It's my day. I get to do what I like. So tomorrow we're back to questions. So if you have a travel question, please private message me and we will get your question into our question of the day list. We may even put it with another question that might be similar, or it could be a group of questions on a similar topic where we can kill several birds with one stone type of thing. But hope you all had a super fantastic sparkling Sunday. Next week this coming week's going to be awesome, because I'm getting ready to head home to New Zealand for 3 weeks. So this week's going to be packing up the RV for storage. It's going to be packing for New Zealand, and it's the middle of winter down there. And I'm walking around in shorts and t-shirt right now because I got back to the rig this afternoon. It was 90 degrees here in Menifee. Inside Sparkles was 95. So I've got all the windows and doors open right now, getting the air circulating. I think I'm down to 83 now inside. So we'll just leave them open, thank goodness for screens, so the bugs don't come in. So we'll leave the windows and things open, getting the cross breeze and everything going. So it's getting more comfortable now. But absolutely exhausted. A totally awesome day. Hope you guys had a phenomenal, super fantastic, sparkling Sunday. This week is going to be awesome. I am loving this coming week. It's going to be awesome. This is going to be amazing. So have a super fantastic, sparkling evening, and we will catch you tomorrow back on track with our questions of the day.